So I have a huge issue with people. Well, it's mostly white people. Let's just put that out there. It's mostly white people. You know, usually when someone's complaining about something or like, you know what I mean? A lot of times it'll be white people. You know what I mean? They'll be the majority of the people complaining about stuff, when in reality they have no reason to complain. Now, when it comes to race issues and being held back and being given the shit stick, you know, and all that kind of stuff, they don't experience shit sticks like black and brown people do. But here's my issue. And maybe, because I'm trying to figure out, it's just like, well, you know, maybe a person just straight up has to be black and Latino. Or whatever, you know, you have to be a mixed race to like truly understand, or to be empathetic, or to, you know what I'm saying? Try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Like, I feel like it's almost to the point where you literally have to be the people that people are talking about. What I'm saying, basically, to go all around the block to get next door, is that I'm sick of people saying, like I've been hearing lately, and I just been kind of just sitting back and just kind of just listening to the stuff. And, you know, obviously, you know, I have my thoughts and opinions about a lot of things. And what's bothering me this morning is how you have individuals saying, and like I said, it's mostly white people, but I've been hearing even some black people. I've been even hearing some other Latin people. And like I said, keep in mind, it's always the smaller, you know, amount. It's always, you know, those people are always the minority when they're talking the bullshit. So we got to keep that in mind. But it's still concerning. You know what I mean? When you have white and black people and some Latin people talking about this flag stuff, man. Like I heard, I first started hearing it, and I talked about it the other day. Like one of the CNN reporters, they were questioning like why people were raising Mexican flags, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, first off, who are you to tell somebody what flag they can and can't display? Why don't people bitch and complain when white people walk around with these Nazi flags and shit? Why don't people complain about that? I mean, we as black and brown people do, but you don't hear a lot of white people getting up in arms about that shit. Or if they do, they'll just keep it to themselves, or they're just kind of talking about it amongst their family and friends, but they won't really get out there and be like, yo, that shit's fucked up, that's bullshit. They won't get it. They won't get another white people's behinds about it. You know what I mean? But they'll be all up our behinds about stuff that they think we're doing wrong as black and brown people. But this flag shit, so yeah, they're saying, oh, they shouldn't be raising Mexican flags because we're in America and all this shit. Fuck that. This is stolen land. This is stolen land. I don't want to hear none of that shit. And then so if we're all up in arms about flags, well then no one should, okay, you got a lot of festivals coming up. Here in Milwaukee specifically, you got Irish Fest, you got German Fest, I think you just had Festa Italiana or whatever one kicks off the summer festival season here in Milwaukee. But yeah, you got Irish Fest, German Fest, Polish Fest. You got all the fests coming up, right? Because what my thing is, like, how white people are so crazy sometimes. And when I say white people, I don't mean every single white person. So if you're someone that can't, like, figure that out in your mind, and you can't realize that I'm not talking about all white people, then you just need to go on somewhere. Because that means your mental capacity is at a kindergarten level of understanding. But like, yeah, it'll be them a lot of times that'll be telling people and shit, you know, oh, America, America. Dude. So then what flag are people supposed to be raising and supporting? Because last time I checked, we're all something. And the last time I checked, white is just a skin color. Like, so like for the white people, like, what are you? If there's somebody white listening right now, what are you? And what I mean when I say what are you, what are you mixed with? Are you German and Irish? Are you, you know, Ukrainian and Italian? Are you Swedish? Are you from the Netherlands? Are you Norwegian? Are you Canadian? Are you, Scandinavian? Are you German and Polish? Like, what are you? Because the only thing that's white about you is your skin. Your skin. That's it. White isn't a race. White isn't an ethnicity. You see what I mean? Because it's like always white people always, are calling people others and all this different type of shit. What are you? You're an immigrant too. What are you? What do you mix with? Because the only thing white about you is your skin. We all live in America, but we're all something else. Like, I'm Mexican and black. I'm African American and Mexican. So what are you? So if you're white, right? So most of the times I'm talking about white people. Listen. So 99% of the time, if someone asks you what you are, you're white. You're just going to say you're white. So then you shouldn't have a German flag or an Irish flag or whatever, Italian flag or whatever. You shouldn't be supporting none of that. Only American flag, right? That's how you white people are talking. You only want. Yeah, by the way you guys are talking, the whites and the black Trumpers and the Latin Trumpers, like you guys are talking about. So basically you're saying you just want, if you're in America, you can only display a American flag. Is that what you're saying? That's bullshit. You see what I mean? We're all from somewhere. We just all live in America. Because at some point, someone in our family, I don't care how far it goes back, someone in our family migrated to this country. I'm saying like, for most of us. But if you're black and brown now, we all know that story. Slavery, black people, our ancestors were raped, pillaged, stole, brought up here, forced up here and shit like that. Latino people, Mexican people. Why do you think they're so up in arms? And then for people to sit there and say, especially white people, y'all want to sit there and say that Mexican people and Latin people shouldn't be raising a Mexican flag here in America? What you mean? A lot of Los Angeles, a lot of the West Coast was Mexico, and it was stolen from the white man. So it's time out for the bullshit, you know what I mean? So, yeah. So when all these festivals start up, what fest is coming up this weekend down at Summerfest grounds or whatever? I don't know which one it is, but if it's one of the white festivals, I don't want to see y'all would not. I don't want to see an Irish flag up, a German flag up, a Norwegian flag, Swedish flag. I don't want to see none of that because you guys call yourself white. You just identify as white, and you want to identify with this American flag and act like everything's American, when none of us are truly from here. I mean, some of us, a lot of us were born here, but our ancestors are not from here. Morning. I just went and got cigarettes and real quick, and some extra, just $7 so I can wash when I get back.
Okay.
And I gotta get laundry soap. I didn't want to buy it at the gas station.
Yeah.
Should have been like 20. It would have been like $20 at the gas station. So I think all that stuff is. Oh wait, we do have coffee questions. I think that's what was being washed.
It was washed last night.
One of them was there's a little ground in there. Look at that.
Oh, that's just from being upside down. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let me get ready for work.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm just kind of on a little rant this morning. I'm just sick of people. I'm just sick of hearing all the, like last night we were watching the news, like they're sitting there talking about people shouldn't be raising the Mexican flag here in America and all that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. So you're basically, not you, but you're basically telling people that they can't represent and be proud of who they are. Because we're all something. We just live in the United States.
Right.
All of us. We're all something else. Like, and for white people, your skin is just white. That's it. Your skin is white, but what are you? So then I don't want to see any German flags. So there should be no German flag. They should cancel all the festivals. Right?
Yeah.
If the narrative is that, because that's what it seems. And then I'm even seeing some black and brown people having an issue with that. You're here in America, you should be in it. Like they were on the news last night talking about, and if you do want to have the Mexican flag, it should be second. It should be under the American flag. Get out of here, man.
But, like, people were flying, like, Ukraine flags when we were, like, supporting them with the war, remember?
Mm-hmm.
The Israeli flag when all those people were kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
So what's
don't
the
nobody
problem?
bitch and complain about these Nazi flags and shit. When these
Or the
white
Confederate
supremacists,
flag.
the Confederate flag, when they're around here fucking with people and being all racist and shit and walking around here trying to intimidate people and they got them fucking flags and shit. Ain't no that why aren't white people condemning that?
Yeah.
Because they're the ones always, for the most part, telling people how they need to act, what they should say, how they should think, what they can do, who they can like, and all that shit. And I'm tired of that shit, man.
Like, what flag people are flying is the least of the problems.
Exactly.
Right now.
Dude tried to say, and Bakari kind of upset me a little bit last night. Shout out Bakari Sellers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's one of the real ones. Like, for the most part, I like Bakari, but last night he kind of bugged me a little bit when because it was a Latino dude on there. It was on Abby Phillips' show, and they were talking, and then this dude, like, he's Mexican, I guess, and he started telling his dad's story about how he migrated over here and all this shit and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's great. But then he was saying how his dad, though, when he got here, he realized, like, where he was and who gave him his opportunity and all this stuff. And, like, he said that if his dad right now were to see someone raising a Mexican flag here during a protest, that he'd be upset about it. And he'd have an issue with it.
The Mexican guy said this?
Yes. And then Bakari was all fascinated with his story, with like his dad's migrant story. Because his dad was like, yeah, and he was the one who said, yeah, and if you do, it's okay to raise the Mexican flag, but it should be under the American flag first. And my dad would have an issue with that because blah, blah, blah. Man, get out of here. All that was, it sounds like his dad came over here and got whitenized and got Americanized. whitenize, and they, you know, that white culture, that American, like that's what it is. It's just like white people want you to. It's like apple pie, baseball, fishing, Harley Davidson, guns, Ford trucks, Oakley sunglasses, hats, dogs,
Sunglasses. Oh my goodness.
an acre of land.
I just don't see what the big deal about flying the flag.
You're basically telling somebody that they shouldn't be proud of who they are.
Like when, like I said, when those Israeli people were kidnapped, people flew the Israeli flag.
Mm-hmm.
When we were supporting Ukraine, people flew the Ukraine flag.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
You know, so I just don't understand the beef.
Yeah, that's crazy as hell to me. That's crazy as hell to me. Yeah, it's that shit was bothering me when I was hearing it. I'm like, man, dude, really?
Yeah, and like I said, if that's the takeaway that people are bothered by, that's small-minded, because the bigger picture is how people are being treated.
Exactly.
Right now. It's the bigger picture.
Exactly, and they're trying. Yeah.
Whether you're a citizen or not, at this point, like citizens are being arrested because they don't look a certain way. So, like, that's what we should be concerned about. That he's sending in the military without permission, basically.
They're literally rounding citizens and shit up. They're basically racial profiling everyone.
Yes.
That Stephen Miller is telling them to just go to the Home Depots and arrest people and shit. What the fuck is that, man?
Right.
He's literally telling people that. It's been confirmed that he was literally telling, because they want. They said they want like 11 or 12 million people out.
Because their numbers are down.
Their numbers are down because here's the reason why the numbers are down. Because most of the a lot of the people, well, they overinflated the number. Well, they lied about the numbers first of all. Because I did it on an episode yesterday. Because first of all, there's not millions of illegal aliens in this country. It's in the high thousands.
Right.
And like I said, and what they're not telling you, but what I am and what you are and what we're telling people, a lot of the people that they're calling illegal immigrants or criminal migrants or whatever, like I keep saying, I know people are getting sick of hearing me saying it, but a lot of them people, I read the numbers yesterday, the majority of those people, they've done time already. They've been punished. Right. There's not millions of illegal, wanted criminals walking around.
And they're considering.
What they're considering just if you're just illegal, your status isn't.
If you came here,
right? Even they even want to call people illegal if you're waiting for your status to be approved. They're calling them illegal,
right? Which their status
is technically
right, because their status is pending though,
but their status is for them to be here,
right?
Like the status is like, okay, well they can be here, but the paperwork's waiting to be approved. But their status is that they're legally here,
right?
Like you can't be like, yo, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, you're waiting for your paperwork to get cleared. Oh no, that's not. You got to get out of here.
And like arresting people if there's like a status hearing.
Right. People are going to see their POs.
And
they're being arrested.
Right. But even just people that don't have PO situations, like that are going to their immigration status hearing, they're arresting them there. It's like, but then you're discouraging people from going to those hearings. If they don't go to those hearings, their wanted. Citizenship will be denied,
and a warrant will be put out for their arrest.
No, I mean not if they.
No, I'm saying if they're supposed to go to an ICE hearing, because there's people that aren't going to go to these hearings now because they know that people are getting scooped up and arrested.
Right.
There's people that are out on probation and parole now that are probably on the run.
Right. Because they're afraid to go in.
It's because they're afraid to go see their PO.
But people outside
because ICE is waiting
of that,
behind the door.
Yeah, people outside of that.
So these people are being punished a handful of times. Think about it. Just real quick.
There's
think
so
about the
many
person.
layers.
Think about the individual. Okay, they were illegal. They came to this country. They ended up committing a crime. They got arrested, went to prison, got released. I got the numbers. I just read the numbers yesterday. So you have an individual. So just think. There's an individual like this. There's thousands of them right now. Came here illegally, he or she. Committed a crime. They got caught up. Got sentenced. They went to prison. They got released. They're out on probation and parole now. So they were punished for the shit they did here when they came to America. They were doing crime. They got arrested. They went to prison. So they were punished. They got released. And if they're on probation and parole still, they're still being punished. And now they have to worry about going to see their PO and getting snatched up by ICE too and getting deported? Well, you already punished them for the shit they did. How many times does a person need to be punished? That's like 3 or 4 different punishments. Because if you really didn't want them here, well, then they should have been kicked out upon arrest, whatever crime they committed or whatever. Or when they were, or it should be a rule or a law or whatever, like if you're illegal or whatever and you get caught, if you do your prison time, when you're done, you should get deported or whatever. It should be one way or the other. But you can't be punishing people 3 or 4 or 5 different ways.
Right.
Because that's what they're doing. And then you're running the risk of going to see your PO and having ICE hanging behind the door.
Right.
But you're doing everything that they're telling that you need to do. They released you. They know your status.
Right.
They still released you to probation and parole. You're working, paying taxes, staying out of trouble and all this and this and that. And now you got to worry about going in and getting intercepted by ICE.
People are afraid
because all of a sudden, and your crime was committed 15 years ago. And now all of a sudden, now they want to kick you up out the country.
Well, and just people are afraid to pick up their kids from school, take their kids to school, go to the grocery store.
Just basic functions. Everyday, normal functions.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It is. Yeah, throughout history, white people have been the most brutal people on this earth. For the most part, they've been the ones that have stolen people's lands, raped, stole people, sold people, denied people, all that shit. If you go back and look throughout history, it's been them doing the shit to everyone. And people have been fighting back and shit like that, and they have a problem with that. They have a problem with people not wanting to be held the fuck down and treated like shit. That's an issue. That they have a problem with people having a problem being treated like shit. So, yeah. I'm playing about 2 minutes of music, y'all. This is Styles P, Mind of a Ghost on the YouTubes.
The ones ain't got shit to talk about always speak the most. It's Ethan Ghost, a brick of coke and a key of dope. Black hoodies jump out that sprinter and you can see the smoke. They don't check the artist, it's on me right underneath my coat. Suspended license on my way to Yonkers beat and scared to sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I see a demon. I don't know about you, but we used to rob niggas for no reason. Before I got famous, shoot full of weight, then come get even. I'm reeking. Older illegal, got dope for your needles, that sugar ill bag. Sold to your auntie, shit make me feel bad. Couldn't get them joints to go to school, shit made me real mad. Time to Def Jam, talking pounds, and I probably still grab. You know what's up, the pistol black and the coke is cut. This ain't a beanie, it's a ski mask, I just rolled it up. Champagne exterior, my wet colored the Rover guts. Now I'm on college, drinking Douce out of coconut. More paper than I can count. New York get hot, go down south, start with an ounce. We cut from a different cloth, it ain't no calming me down. No need for no introduction, cause we the hardest in town. More more paper than I can count. New York get hot, go down south, start with an ounce. We out.
But every day I just go through the same shit. That's why niggas broke that you hang with. Look, I've acquired everything that I desired twice. They told me sky's the limit, but I went higher. Like my story is motivation. Should be motivating you niggas. My story is the motivation.
Motivate the streets,
Young bosses. My story is motivation. I started with nothing just like you, I wasn't supposed to make it. My story is motivation. From the bottom to the top. Bottle girl, come over, ace. The text with the frozen faces. My story is motivation. Yeah. My story is the motivation.
Trying to die wealthy, and will I die healthy? And I can look at myself without a mirror or selfie. Four come from 2 and 2, doing me, you doing you. What they killing for? Somebody hit them with a 2 and 2. Told them stay low and out the way, yeah, through and through. Gonna play the hood, know what's good, know who is who. Matter of fact, you know what is what. You can play the cut and get cut, they watch you bubble up. If you from the slums and you poor, yeah, double up. Word to Nip, word to all the Crips, get your hustle up. And get the money for the re-up. You rockin' with the host, I'm about to throw the G up. Money.
So I read some stats yesterday. I'm going to read a couple more today. You know, Trump's always lying about, you know, when he's up there at his dumbass rallies and shit, and he's lying, he's telling people, oh, there's millions and millions of illegal aliens, and they're coming from prisons and insane asylums and all this other bullshit he says. So here's the stats. These are the real stats. These are real stats. If you don't like them, that's too bad. They're still factual stats. That just means you don't like them, but they still remain facts, right? So from the fiscal year 2021 through 2024, U.S. Customs and Border Protection recorded about 103,700 non-citizens arrested with criminal convictions, far short of millions. Y'all hear that? I'll read it one more time for the people in the back. So from the fiscal year of 2021 through 2024, which is a 3-year period, U.S. Customs and Border Protection recorded about 103,700 non-citizens arrested with criminal convictions, far short of millions. See what I'm saying? Criminal convictions. Read between the lines, y'all. That means that these people, they committed crime. They did some illegal shit or whatever, some foul shit, whatever they did. They were arrested, thrown in prison, convicted, all that shit. So why is it their fault that some of them are being released to probation and parole? Why is it their fault? What are they supposed to say when they're about to get released from their prison time? Oh, no, send me back. I don't want to be here. You see what I'm saying? So it's disingenuous for, like, the Trump people, and like they're trying to have people, they want people to believe like there's just millions of like illegal people running around here, and they're like rounding everyone up and looking for them, and all these people got all these warrants out for their arrest and shit like that. It's complete bullshit, y'all. Experts emphasize there's zero support. Y'all hear me? It says experts emphasize that there's zero support for the idea that foreign countries are emptying jails or mental facilities by sending people here. Immigrants are statistically less likely to commit crimes, too. That's the other part about it I haven't even talked about yet. Us as U.S. citizens, we commit more crimes than any migrant does. The majority of them, they come over here and work. I've worked with plenty Latin people. Y'all know I've worked at restaurants, all that shit. So, so numerous studies show undocumented immigrants are less likely than U.S.-born persons to commit violent crimes, property crimes, and or drug offenses. Prison mental health is not unique to immigrants. Although U.S. jails and prisons contain many mentally ill individuals, this reflects broader U.S. mental health and incarceration policies, not a migrant-specific problem. Multiple reputable fact checkers have repeatedly exposed these claims. PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, USA Today, NPR, the Marshall Project all agree there is no factual basis for Trump's assertions. Why does this matter? Trump frequently uses dramatic stories to paint migrants as dangerous criminals, but what does it say? Empirical evidence contradicts these claims. These arguments often serve political purposes by tapping fear, not facts. But I got the facts for y'all. Now it's just up to you to decide if you want to listen to them or not. But it ain't going to change them. Just because you don't like something, that's a fact. It ain't going to change it. It's not going to make it not a fact anymore. It just means that you don't like the shit. So the bottom line, y'all, or to go all around the block to get next door, basically there's not millions of migrants that are coming here from prisons or mental institutions or insane asylums or whatever he's saying. And there's no proof that foreign countries are exporting criminals or psychotic patients to the U.S. Immigrant crime rates are lower than native-born Americans. Yep. Shit's crazy, y'all. Alright, y'all. Back to the episode.